Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, welcome to January. Kevin McCarthy resigned from Congress, and California, I guess he got his paperwork turned in on time. California is going to be holding a special election to replace him. Now, the California statewide primary is on March 5th, and there was speculation that you could run McCarthy's replacement in that same election. However, Bakersfield, counties in the Bakersfield area district were concerned that a consolidated election would lead to increased costs and voter confusion. At least that's what the governor's office is stating. So that the election is actually going to occur on March 19th, which is 2 weeks after the general primary election. So I want to read on the energy around this special election and any messages Spirit might have for us. Okay? Come on down. All right. So what's the general energy around this special March 19th election? It's going to be the king of money. Okay. Again, the governor is saying it's about costs, and that's likely true. It costs money to do a special election too, but I guess if the county, and this is the county that McCarthy represents, if the county thinks that there's going to be confusion, this is a red county, so it's not like the Democrats are going to get elected in here. If the counties want time, the counties want time. There's a big money issue here going on. We've got the King of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. It could be that maybe some candidates want more time to fundraise. There's money. There's some big money going on around here. And emotions. These two cards make me think of fundraising. Now, play on people's emotions, raise all the money type of thing. You also have the election going on to vote on that seat that's going to happen in November. So whoever wins in the end of March is only going to be there for 6 months before the general election to pick the person who represents that seat. I think there's a money thing going on here. There's an absolute money thing going on. And I guess maybe what it is, whoever's going to get this seat is the one who raises the most money and raises the most passion in the voters. I think that's where we're going with this here. It's about money and outrage. Welcome to a red district. In the past, we have the guy leaving the post. Gosh, wonder who that could be. Again, I laugh at some things, and I do appreciate it when Spirit makes things really easy, because it doesn't take an intuitive to figure out that's representing McCarthy. McCarthy leaving his post, and now it's time to replace him. Okay, current energy is the Lover's card. That's interesting, because in this article I've got over here, they were talking about Assembly Member Vince Fong is running to replace his longtime mentor. And that he's also in the special election to replace McCarthy and running for it. So, let's see, what do we got going on here? Fong's in the midst of a legal battle to keep his spot on the ballot after the Secretary of State said he could not run for both the congressional seat and his assembly seat at the same time. By that point, the deadline to withdraw from the ballot as assembly candidate passed. Wow. Okay. So if it's Fong, he's got some legal things. I was going to say, this is probably Vince Fong, that his mentor, that McCarthy mentored. But it sounds like he's already on the ballot to run for assembly, so he wouldn't be able to legally run for that position. So I think the field's wide open for Republicans. Okay. So this was going to be Vince Fong. This was going to be Vince Fong's race to win or lose here, but he screwed himself because he filed paperwork and didn't withdraw his paperwork for the assembly. So he kind of, I say screwed himself. He didn't make a decision, or he was playing it safe. Who knows? He ruined his chances for getting that position. Hope you like sitting in the assembly. I think he's going to be sitting in the assembly. He'll be reelected in the assembly. Wishes and hopes fulfilled. I guess this is going to be for other candidates, or it could be that somehow he works things out with the Secretary of State. This could be the Secretary of State. Actually, I think it's the Secretary of State saying, "Hey, you know what? It's not like I gotcha, but it's like you can't do both. You can't be both an assemblyman running for assembly and running for Congress, U.S. Congress. You made your choice. You didn't withdraw from it, and you just have to live with your consequences. And the law's behind me. The court system will be behind me. And we'll probably hear about this rather soon. They're in a legal battle. Hang on for a second. I want to read the link on that. Okay, we're back. I read the story. Come on down. The court ruled. The court was challenged. The judge said, yeah, you can run for McCarthy's seat. So now take this back. This is Fong wanting to run for that seat. He was McCarthy's protege. He thought he... basically what happened was there was a woman who was running that he didn't think that Mr. Fong didn't think he could beat. So he didn't sign up for McCarthy's seat. He signed up for his assembly seat. But that woman declined and took herself out of the running. And when he found that out, that's when he filed his paperwork. The Secretary of State of California said, no, you can't do that. You can't run for two positions. There's no law allowing you to run for two different positions on the same ballot. But a California judge ruled that, yeah, you can. So that, I was about to say, we'll see if this information comes out quickly. It came out really quickly. It's already done by the time I'm doing this reading. So McCarthy was out there endorsing Mr. Fong as his replacement. Okay. Sorry for the confusion. I read through the article, but I didn't click on the hyperlinks to see any of the background information on it. So actually, I didn't even really read the article. I just read the article to see when the election was happening. Bad, David. Bad research skills. Getting all lazy on you. Okay, so now the question is, after all the high drama, will Vincent Fong be the person to be elected to replace Kevin McCarthy, his mentor? Does that mean Mr. Fong's going to talk out both sides of his mouth and be a Russian shill? Entertainment purposes only? Five of Swords. In the Knight of Swords. I don't think he's going to be a compromising kind of guy. I think he's going to be reckless and uncompromising if those two cards come out. That's describing... Now, I don't know what this guy's personality is like, but we'll see. Will he be the one elected to replace McCarthy? Six of Coins. Charity. Generosity. McCarthy's already given him his endorsement. And he's... even the article says he's well positioned because he's got name recognition and such. Crossed with disappointment. Oh, dear. What does that mean? He may not get it, even though he's got the money and the recognition. He may not. Oh, well, you know what? It's either he doesn't win the short-term one or he doesn't win the long-term one. What do we have underneath it? Victory. It'd be funny. He wins his assembly. He could win his assembly seat and not win McCarthy's. I think that's what it's going to be. I think he wins back his assembly seat. And this is kind of like the consolation prize. But he doesn't win McCarthy's seat. That would explain this. Or, this could also be that he wins McCarthy and loses his. But, you got 3 cups down and 2 cups up. That means you're a little more disappointed than appreciative of what you have. Appreciative of what you have is your assembly position. The 3 cups down would be indicative of the position that you were gunning for, which was McCarthy's seat. So I suspect that there's a victory here underneath it. I suspect he wins his assembly seat back, but he doesn't win McCarthy's seat. That's interesting. I wasn't expecting that. In the past, we got the Knight of Pentacles. He's got McCarthy's... he went forward with the bid for that position. He's got McCarthy's endorsement. He seemed to have things going his way. What seems to have gone wrong? 2 of Wands. I'll bet you... I'll bet you the Republicans, while campaigning, bring up the fact that he's running for 2 different positions. And... how can he be in the assembly and do Congress at the same time and, don't vote for him, vote for us type of thing. It's like a planning thing. He didn't plan this out very well. And I think his planning is coming back and biting him. It's a big burden. There's a lot of people running that are running for this position. And there might be 1 or 2 candidates that are more appealing to the folks in McCarthy's district. I wonder if they're more extreme and they're appealing to McCarthy's district. If Mr. Fong is not as... for McCarthy is not exactly an extremist. I realize that he was a mouthpiece for Trump and he talked out both sides of his mouth, but that's because money. I don't think political ideology was there. Lord knows what his political ideology was other than self-enrichment. But I don't believe him to be full MAGA, even though he was supporting Trump. And I suspect that you probably have some candidates that are a bit more violently red than Mr. Fong. And that could be a problem. The lesson to be learned is the dark money working behind the scenes. Deals being cut, money being made. Even if he doesn't get McCarthy's seat, he still has the ability to... No, but it's a... Oh, God, it's so confusing. I don't... I was about to say it's a primary, but here's the thing. The primary ballot is going to nail the candidate for the vote in November. This vote is to replace McCarthy, and I think he said he was running for both. Is that right? Let's see. Pause for a second. Okay, my apologies. This is all really confusing because I didn't do my homework here. Okay, so in beginning of March, Mr. Vince Fong is running both as an assembly candidate and as a candidate for the House of Representatives. Okay, so those will both be decided in the beginning of March. He could potentially win both, which means he wins the primary and then he goes to the general election in November. Also, a couple weeks later, do you like the little timeline here? A couple weeks later, he runs to replace McCarthy for the remainder of 2024. And that's going to be a vote to for replacement. Okay, so how does this look? It could be that he loses the primary, but he gets the replacement job. That could also fit. The election. Sorry, this is such a confusing. I should start over, but I'm not going to because this is how I do it. Backroom dealings going on. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he actually does replace McCarthy for the remainder of the of 2024, but he doesn't qualify on the primary. I don't even know how that would work. Why would you vote for somebody to replace McCarthy and then not vote for him in the primary? It's wild. Okay. Outcome is the King of Wands. There might be some more court rulings around this, especially if, again, if he were to win if he replaces McCarthy, he's got to resign his assembly position. If for some reason he wins both the primary for the assembly and the primary for 2024 to replace McCarthy, then the courts are going to come in and say, hey, you got to choose. You can't have both. You're going to have to withdraw from one of those. It's just all sorts of confusion. I do not think that judge did anybody any favors by ruling the way that she did. Or that could even be, can you imagine, that could be an appeal on his running. And the reason why the judge had to make a decision rather quickly because they're printing up the ballots. So they need to know where to put his name. I suspect that this is going to get appealed to the California Supreme Court. Let's see if that's what that is. I'll do a little read on that. Will Vince Fong's double candidacy be appealed to the appellate or the California Supreme Court? Basically, will it be appealed? And if so, how does that appeal go? Way more than you were interested in California politics, I assure you. And we got that Five of Swords and that Knight of Swords that came popping up as I was shuffling. So he's going to announce his candidacy quickly and just really dive in. I think he's going to dive in with both feet for at least certainly for this temporary position, as well as going for the full on. Is there going to be any challenges in the courts? We have two. Truth Revealed and the Seven of Coins evaluation. Yeah, I think it's going to be like, wait, this is crazy. You just can't do this. This is causing confusion, and the Sun is trying to remove confusion and evaluating the law and seeing if this makes sense with the law. Knight of Cups. I do think that this will be challenged and brought to the appellate court because it's just going to be like, hey, we can't do this. This is just causing too much confusion. The voters need to know who they're voting on and what position they're voting on for this guy. In the past, it's the Eight of Wands. This is going to be that court decision that's like, nope, he's allowed to run, and just, we had to act quickly because the ballots were being printed out. What about the Purcell principle, which I believe is the other reading today? Making changes on the election ballot right next to the election. Oh, there's your Lover's card again. Okay, so this will be about him holding two positions or running for McCarthy's replacement. It's causing confusion. It's absolutely causing voter confusion, and the courts are going to look at that. Queen of Cups, they're going to put a cap on it. They're not going to let this stand. He's going to have to pull out of the race or something along those lines. They're going to do something to disqualify him, I believe. I don't know how that's going to work because the ballots are all, Well, I guess if he died, he'd still be on the ballot, right? It could just be the Republican Party has to do something different here. Yeah, the courts are going to rule. Queen of Cups, they're causing confusion. They need to put a lid on it. They need to make a ruling, and the ruling is going to be pretty harsh. It's going to be one or the other type of things. I wouldn't be surprised, especially given that Five of Cups on the other reading, if they rule that he could be on the primary for the assembly and for McCarthy's seat. It gets appealed and said, nope, you went for the assembly seat. You are stuck with the assembly seat. You didn't withdraw. That's your first choice. You're stuck with it. Too bad. So sad. High drama and misdemeanors. And to think I wanted to do a Hunter Biden reading instead, when you could have all this drama instead. Oh, yeah, this video is going to get about 400 reviews. Who cares? Okay. Anyways, that's that. California drama at its finest. I didn't know it was going to be like this. I really didn't. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. For those folks still around, thanks for supporting my channel. I promise never to do this again. Thanks to all the new subscribers and people just recently finding this channel. I hope this reading was insightful and not totally confusing. I'm kind of confused right now, but it's confusing times. Maybe I'll do a review of this one in March and get 200 viewers on that one who actually give a flying toot about this election. All right, I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.